Welcome and welcome back. Today, we're going to talk about the current state of construction at Standing Pines Resort and revisit key points with new updates on topics from prior shows. I'm Amy, and as usual, I'll be your host today. First, I want to send a big thank you for all the feedback and the suggestions. See continued sneak peeks, current progress updates, more on the resort designs, and some information on animals around the campground. That's great. We can do those. We hear you, and we're excited to create this kind of content. Please keep those comments coming, though. We still have many, many weeks to go, and there's going to be a few weeks that we may be able to do some special things, depending on what you would like to see and learn about. Speaking of feedback, I did want to do a special shout out for everybody who took the time to comment on those 3 choices we had for the big double doors of the Welcome Center for Facebook. We did go with what looked to be the most prominent and popular suggestion, that dark bronze. I think that's going to look great. And I particularly appreciated the comments around, that it's going to be longer lasting and it's going to look good as another natural color that matches kind of the palette we're going for. Someone made a comment around it, kind of almost made them think of a tree with the dark bronze, brown, and the green. So that was kind of the deciding kind of factor there. It just fits perfectly with the campground. For anyone who's wondering what I'm talking about, I invite you to come check out our Facebook group. It's a very active, very fun community full of great feedback and suggestions. Please come on over and join us. Facebook.com/campstandingpines. Now let's go ahead and dive into some construction video clips. Again, like I've done in recent weeks, I'm trying to keep this one pretty focused, but let's add this to the screen and take a look at what's been going on around Standing Pines in the last week or two. There we go. Okay, so you should be hearing my voice, and this is an overview. So as we take a look, here is the pond. You can see most of the excavation is complete. There's still some to do, but there's still some more work to do on the pond at this point. And it's looking good. Just up from the pond is the main recreational center with the welcome center, the pool, the mini golf, and many other things. Here's the welcome center, and it's super cool to see this video and see the clouds through the sky. We do have a roof on it now, so we're very close to being dried in for the welcome center. And it's exciting to think about the floor plan and all of the possibilities for this building. Past the first recreational center, which is also check-in this green highlighted area, is the campsites. And even with 109 campsites planned in this area, there should be plenty of elbow room. Looking back at the maps and the plans, our smallest planned RV site is about 2,400 square feet. So there should be enough room to really kind of settle in and enjoy. Tucked away in a corner, marked in red on the overlay map, is the future RV storage area. And this will be for those guests who want to leave their RV at Standing Pines when they're not enjoying it. Obviously, you can take it off property as you want, but this would probably be for those guests who really want to make Standing Pines their own personal vacation home. Okay, now we're back into this pink highlighted area, rec area number 2. And this is a little misleading. We were out the other day marking off the fence line for the dog park. It is just the tiniest sliver of this area. There's going to be so much back here as we need to grow and develop and send you some sneak peeks. Past the second rec area is this large, it's going to be pretty level field. And this will be for guests, just a pretty field to walk through. And in the back with these brown loops are the future hiking trails. This is the start of one. We've got a lot of work to do to go ahead and break these trails, but it'll give you just a little bit of a sense of walking through the future trails around the campground. Here's what we're looking like from the air a couple weeks ago. And here's those wonderful AI images to close it out with a look at what the resort will be when we open the middle of October. It's coming soon, less than 6 months to go now. All right. With that, we'll go ahead and flip back. I wanted to give you just a few quick updates on some of the topics we've covered in previous shows. First, I mentioned the pond earlier, so you could see that the excavation is going well with the pond. We're actually at the point where sometime later this week, we're supposed to start meeting with a potential vendor for the liner for the pond. Unfortunately, or fortunately, sand drains really, really well. And while we were hoping to discover some clay as we continued excavation, it looks like we're going to have to go with a different solution for a liner. So we're working on the liner next for the pond. But one fun thing that's happened since we did that first episode 10 weeks ago today is that we have worked with the engineering, design, construction teams, and it looks like we're going to be able to pull off a 6-foot depth in that pond after all. So that is super exciting, and we'll share a little bit more about that as we get a little further along and know what we're doing with that liner. Also, as you're aware, if you've watched Building Memories for a few weeks, the reservations are active. We are seeing reservations roll in. Thank you. Can't wait for you to come and visit, and super excited about these early guests that are booking on Faith right now. So that is very cool. There is a very short highlight video up on YouTube. It's like less than 2 minutes or right at 2 minutes for the campsite types. So if you've got any questions around what campsite you might want, that might be a good one just to go and do a quick refresher on. And I'll see if I can't add a link to that here somewhere. The other thing for the pool, which was our third episode, planning the pool, is we have been kind of in a holding pattern with DHEC here in South Carolina on the pool permit. There were some, I'd call them fairly administrative issues to work out. And it looks like we're getting close to the end of that and remain on track for our planned groundbreaking for building the pool in June. So that's something we'll keep an eye on and continue working. I'm hopeful we'll get that final permit issued this week, but I'll feel a lot better about it once we have it in our hands. Okay, you saw this in the video earlier in just that tiny clip. What I want to point out here is that itty-bitty circle is my husband walking the fence line in the back. This is for the larger dogs dog park, and there will be an adjacent one for smaller dogs. But this one we measured out 100 feet by 150 feet, which comes to just over a third of an acre. And there should be plenty of room for the babies to run around in there. We also decided to go ahead and place these parks. We changed the location a little bit. We moved them so that we could include some of these trees in the park to give some shade and some more interesting things for the dogs to sniff. Let's see. I'm going to actually remove myself from the stage here for oh, I can't do that. It makes me go on mute. What I did want to highlight was the floor plan for the Welcome Center, just so that, you know, those who are following along can start getting a sense of the visual there. You'll see the majority of the interior space is for indoor dining. So when you're hungry, but you don't want to be outside in the summer heat, we got you covered. Now that space will also double as a workspace with great Wi-Fi for guests who need to do some work, maybe homeschool, as well as holding the media center where we'll have multiple TVs and gaming systems and some seating. And the camp store. So if you forget any necessities, we should have you covered, and should also have some other items for you. And here in the back are the bathrooms, and something that guests who've come and visited in person have liked is this concept of the outside showers, the private lockable outside showers. We'll talk more about those again later. My apologies for the distraction there. There's a phone call I'll need to catch soon. Okay, moving on to the next few episodes. Rascal is now live on Facebook. Yay! I said live on Facebook, live on Amazon, currently available for the introductory price of less than $4, $3.99 for the Kindle copy. This is the introduction to Rascal, who'll be the mascot for Standing Pines. It's a sweet little illustrated story. I think that kids will particularly enjoy this. If you're interested in stories or characters or animals or just curious what we've cooked up, I'd really encourage you to take a look. It is currently enjoying a 5-star rating on Amazon, which while certainly that's not everything, it's great to see as the author. We are looking forward to our first planned private preview event with another camping group. That's in just 2 weeks now. The time is flying by. And you'll probably see some more pics of the dog park next week, as we're trying hard to get that small dog park fenced in before this preview event. So we've got place for babies to run around. And we do remain open, as I've said in other videos. If you have a group, a church group, or a camping group that you'd like to do a private preview event, please reach out to me. There are, some possibilities there. And of course, why Hartsville? We love living in Hartsville. There's so much more to do here than I thought there would be between the college and the Sunoco and other businesses around here, the water park. There's just so much more to Hartsville than you would expect in a typical small town. Okay, I did want to highlight this again. I didn't get any takers last week, so I won't push it if it's not really of interest, but I did want to offer up again, if anyone wants to do a live Q&A, happy to do one of those. We need to update our FAQ in any event, as some of those are a little bit dated at this point. The other option, as always, is simply to drop your comments or questions in the response to this video. Be happy to address those either right there or in a future video or in both. All right, so now let's look ahead. We've got some key dates coming up, and I tossed a couple in here you can see on the timeline. For all intents and purposes, as far as we can tell, we are on track to open as planned. I won't say anything about good, positive possibilities because I don't want to jinx us, but it is looking very good at this point. And as usual, as we get to close, just want to remind everybody where to find reservations. Those are at campstandingpines.com. Also give everybody just a little bit of a reminder. Soft open October 15th. My phone is going crazy while I'm recording this. Grand opening December 1. And we'll open with those 109 campsites as laid out there. Now, we'll see you again here next week on Tuesdays at 1 o'clock for the update every week to give you the behind the scenes peek at what's going on. I think that's everything. Let me take a quick look at my notes. Oh, one thing I did want to say is that as we are between these weekly sessions, really would love it if you would just drop a comment, say hi. If you have a question, would love to hear the question or a comment or a suggestion, but mostly would just love to get a hi. So if you're new to the group or you haven't posted a lot, please just, say hey. And if you've got a camping story to share or a tip or a suggestion, we'd love to hear it. Again, thanks for taking time to join Building Memories with Standing Pines Resort. This was the second kind of reflections on our progress at midway through the construction time period. I think next week we'll look a little bit more at some of those upcoming milestones and goals and talk about plans for the next 6 months, up to and including the soft open. So catch y'all next week. Have a great week. Thanks for watching.